Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Davenport. I'm an interior designer, store owner, and educator. And in today's video, I have got some beautiful, elegant Christmas centerpiece ideas, so stay tuned. I want to say a special thank you to all of you who watch. And I want to say an even another special thank you to all of you who travel to see me in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and come see me at my store. One of you did just that, but I wasn't there that day, and you left me a note. I want to read it. This is from Paula Miller. Hi, Jennifer. My name is Paula Miller. I came to visit the store today. It is absolutely beautiful. I didn't get to say hello to you. However, I did get a chance to talk with Scott. Such a wonderful man. I'm looking forward to each and every one of your videos. Paula, thank you so much. Now, before we jump into the video, make sure you're subscribed to this channel and you've hit the bell that tells you when a new video is out, and go follow me on Instagram. All right, this first idea is going to be my most simple idea, but yet it's going to be a very elegant idea. Start out with a picture, and let me say this. You're going to ask where I got this picture. My daughter is amazing at hunting at Goodwill for pictures. Go there, find them. They have some beautiful ones. So that's where we found this one. What we're going to do, we're going to make some greenery come out, and we're going to have some bells that hang out of this picture. I saw this coolest idea from Indigo House Living on Instagram, and in order to keep the bells hanging, she put a wooden spoon in the picture. The bells are going to hang from that. The greenery will come out and hide that. But what a smart idea. All right, so instead, I got these bells at Hobby Lobby, but instead of using the jute, because we're trying to be elegant here, I want to cut all that off, and I want to use some ribbon because I want to bring some color into this centerpiece. Take your ribbon and loop it and gather it at the top, and do that 3 times. So that's my second time. This is going to be my 3rd time coming up, and let it dangle down. All right, trim that last piece, and we are going to tie the top of it into a knot, and that's what's going to slide down onto the spoon and hold the bells. I'm taking the end of a ribbon and wrapping it around, and that's where I'm going to tie it into a knot. Creating that loop, and there's one. Tie it really tight. I think I'll have to do it twice. All right, where you have the loops at the bottom, just cut that. And we may do some more trimming later, but what we're doing is getting rid of the loops. Take your ribbon and put it on to that wooden spoon. Oh, that blue off of that white picture is beautiful. Now, decide how many bells you want to put on there. I think I'm going to put probably 3 or 4 on. We'll see as we go. I'm going to cut the bell off of that jute and take my first ribbon, slide that bell up. We're going to pull it up and tie another knot. Now I am going to trim these tails at the end, so don't worry about that right now. I just want to get those bells in place. For this one, we're going to go a little bit lower. All right, I think I'm going to do one more bell right in this area, and that will be all we need. All right, we're going to trim the tails, but I also am going to take 2 of them and make a bow at the top. Keep that velvet showing. Now I'm just going to trim those tails at an angle So that's all you have to do for that. I tell you something, I love to put blue in Christmas. It just really pops off of the brass and the gold. But now it's time to add some of our stems. What makes an arrangement really pretty and really interesting is if you add more than one stem. Now, when you're going to figure out how tall you want your stems to be, you want them to be just about a third taller than your actual base. So this one's a little bit tall, and I'm going to trim it, and I'm also going to trim some of the pine cones off. Now, don't throw those away. You might use them in a different project. And I'll arrange them once I get most of them set in there. So I'm going to do 3 of this one with the pine cones, and then I'll show you the other one I'm going to do in a minute. I do quite a bit of arrangements, and some stems have that steel bar in the middle, and it's almost impossible, at least for me, to cut with just regular wire cutters. So if you're wondering what I'm using, my husband got these for me. I'll put a link in the description. They are a lifesaver on your hands. Now that I've got these in there, I'm going to kind of pull them out a little bit. Now, when you do that, don't just yank it so that it's going at an angle. You want to arch your branch because that's how they would grow out in nature. Okay, see how I've done that? And then put it back in. I didn't do that at first because I just want to see how many of these stems will it take to fill my pitcher. But one of the things about making an arrangement that looks natural is every stem is exactly the same. Every pine cone's in the same spot. So once you put your arrangement together, if it seems like you've got too much of the same thing, don't be shy about trimming something off, whether it's an extra branch or it's an extra pine cone. Now that I've got this sitting in there, I'm going to add one more pine stem because I want to have a little bit of height in this centerpiece. And then I'll show you the next stem I'm going to add. I actually added 3. It looked much better. And now you can start to pull down a couple of those stems, and you're going to hide that spoon you've got in there. All right, the next stem. Oh, I love this. I love any stem that's got a little bit of movement, but this one has movement and glitter. And it's eucalyptus with just a little bit of glitter. Isn't that beautiful? Spread your stem out a little bit, and then place that first one in. I'm probably going to put 4 to 5 of these stems in there. When you go shopping for stems, buy extra. You never know until you start putting a centerpiece together whether or not you're going to need one more. And it would be a bummer to have to go back to the store. So I always get a couple extra stems. And if I'm not going to use them, I'll just take them back. And that's it. Let me tell you one more tip. You've got this arrangement, it's faux. When you're getting ready to have a party, go clip some real greenery and stick it in here as well. It'll not only make it look more elegant, but everybody will think the whole arrangement is real. For this next idea, we're going to use a wreath, and I'm going to style it 2 different ways. A wreath is a super easy way to create a centerpiece. First, start off with your wreath, and I found a round mirror that's got gold sparkles on it. Put that in the middle of your wreath, and then there's a really unique candle holder. So I'm going to put a candle in it, and I'm going to put a bow on it. But here's another way. This is beautiful just the way it is. But if you want to make it a little bit more beautiful, you can add a second stem. And I'm going to add some magnolia. Again, I like to look for stems rather than picks because sometimes I get more bang for my money. And we're going to start clipping this. You could hot glue it into your wreath, but I'm not going to because maybe next year when I get my wreath out, I want to add a different stem. So here's the magnolia, and I'm going to trim it just a little bit smaller. And start by just tucking that into the wreath. And really, if you get it stuck in there really well, you don't have to hot glue it in there. It'll stay. Turn it a little bit and add a little bit more. There's so many different things you could do. You could add ribbon all through it. You could add berries. You could add some glitter stems. You know, whatever fits your style in your house, in your Christmas design. Now, I'm not going to overdo it. I'm just going to add a little bit, kind of spacing them apart as equally as I can. Just gonna put the candle in. Now, you could add some cranberries in there for a little pop of color, or if you're using a candle that is a flameless candle, you could add a little snow in there. The last thing I'm gonna do is add a ribbon to the top. Now, if you want to put a ribbon on top, like I did, and you want longer tails, then you might want to put a flameless candle in just to keep yourself safe. All right, let's look at the second one we're going to do with the wreath, just a different design. So this is the third centerpiece design, but I'm using the same wreath, and I'm going to put a dark brown black bowl in the middle. The reason I'm going to do that is because the greenery will pop off of it. I'm going to fill it with ornaments. Now, I'm not going to use shatterproof ornaments for this one. I'm going to use glass ornaments because they will really reflect the light and make this whole centerpiece look very beautiful. To me, there is nothing more beautiful than a bowl full of ornaments. If you already have a bowl and you're just getting the ornaments, I got these whole ornaments for $10. So this makes an inexpensive centerpiece, but still beautiful. Now later, like I said, if you're having a party, you want to tuck in a little bit of real greenery that will go around each ornament. That will level it up as well. This next centerpiece is going to be very easy. I've got a bowl. I'm going to put some foam in it to hold in the picks that I'm going to put in. I'm only going to use 2. But for this design, I'm going to use these little taper candle holders, and I'm going to put 3 in here. That'll be at the top of this arrangement. I'm going to take some floral foam, and it fits right in there, but I still want to add some hot glue on the edges just to make sure it holds super tight in my container. I'm going to start by putting these little tapers in first, and I'm going to glue them to my floral foam. These were inexpensive. I think they were $1.25. So I'm just going to glue the bottom of them and put them into the container. Okay, time to add my picks. I'm going to trim them just a little bit. And before I stick them in, I'm going to kind of arch them out a little bit. Oh, much better. I love how these just drape over this container. Now I'm going to add just a couple sprigs of magnolia. I am going to glue these in. This one might be my favorite so far. I love how this drapes over the container and the magnolia. The Southern girl loves magnolias. Okay, we're gonna add some candles, and I'm gonna share with you a few tips. All right, here's a tip about taper candles. You know how sometimes you have a taper candle holder and you're putting your candle in and it's just moving all around? These are wax candle adapters, and they're kind of tacky, and you pop one off and you put it under your candle. It reminds me of poster tack, and then stick it into the taper holder and it's going to hold. If you're going to burn live candles, these are amazing. They're little glass candle taper rings. You put it on the candle, it'll slide down, and when this starts to drip, if you don't have dripless candles, it will catch it all in there. I would start with the dripless candles, even those drip a little bit, but this will catch any of that wax. So that's it, 3 easy centerpiece ideas. If you try one out, let me know how it goes. Be sure to watch my other Christmas videos, and we've got more headed your way. Happy holidays.